The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by the channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord have made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Do me a favor on this wisdom tongue tied wisdom Wednesday. Let's do some evangelizing. Let's tag a couple of people and let them know that Faith and Tea is on, and at any moment, Javarius will be jumping on with us. We're just so grateful and honored once again to be able to come before you. I tell you, the days are sliding by. I'm sitting here looking for something. I can't find what I'm looking for. Give me a second, you all. It's probably right there in my face. And so let me just do this right fast. And there we go. Yes, yes, yes. The time is just shooting by. We're already at the end of the second month of the year. Whew. I tell people all the time waits on nobody. Listen, I already know you made some promises to yourself. I ain't talking about to anybody else. You made some promises to yourself at the beginning of the year. And you said you was going to do X, Y, Z, and here we are in the second month, and you haven't even had the opportunity to start. But don't fret, don't be discouraged. Guess what? You still got time, and that's the remarkable thing about it. That's why when I wake up and I quote the scripture, you all know my favorite scripture is, "This is the day that the Lord hath made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it." So when I look at it, the fact that I laid down on last evening with not a care, might have had a few things on my mind or whatnot, but didn't have anything that I had to worry about. And I slept all night, got up this morning, got on the morning prayer with Bishop Eugene Taylor. And even with that, he had a couple of um, hiccups, but he rode it through, and we ended up having a wonderful morning prayer. And here we are on Faith and Tea. I'm saying all that to say that time waits on nobody, and so we've got to continue to push forward. And listen, anything that you haven't accomplished, today is the day you can start. And so I just want to encourage each and every one of us to continue to push forward. The fact that you're still here means that you still have an assignment to complete. I'm just convinced that once you have completed your assignment, that that's when the Lord calls you home. Now, of course, I've shared this with people many times. I think some of it, sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we go before our time. But the majority of our Christian walk, our goal is to do our assignment. That should be your primary goal when you wake up. What should I have to do today, God? Order my steps. And I found myself that the more that I lean on Him to do those type things, doors that I said something to someone the other day, that your name is being mentioned behind doors you haven't even opened yet. That should cause somebody to run right there. That your name is being mentioned behind doors that you haven't even opened. And He's ordering your steps. And that's the good thing about it, that if He's ordering your steps, all you have to do is walk in that path. I remember I shared this different in different scenarios, and sometimes Pastor Sean and I get to talking about something, especially the order of the steps. And I remember plenty. Well, I'm not gonna say plenty, but I remember some snow blizzards in Maryland, and the snow was so high, you know, and you would have to make a path. And guess what? The person that was behind you, the truth be told, if their legs was long enough or they were close to your sides, they could walk in your steps and not have to worry about it. Did you hear what I just said? Now, that's a whole different scenario than walking with Christ, because I think everybody has to have their own individual walk. Come on, talk to me this morning. Everybody has to have their own individual walk. Let me do my howdy do's this morning. God bless you all. I see the evangelist Rosemary Townsend is on bright and early this morning. God bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning. I see, let me see, who else do I see? Do I see anybody else? I see names on here, but I don't know who else is on. I see, oh, my niece Taryn is on. God bless you. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Is it anybody else? Well, I don't know. I know it's some others on here because I see the numbers. But to God be the glory, to understand that your walk is your walk. And here's the thing, but you're not walking alone. I know plenty of you all have heard or read the poem where the individual was on the beach, and he was, I'm not going to say so much complaining, but he was making a statement. And he was saying that there was a time that he only saw two sets or one set of footprints. And that's when the Lord spoke to him and said, and that's when I was carrying you. Sometimes the Lord does have to carry you, but he gives us all an opportunity. Did you hear what I just said? He gives us an opportunity. And that's the unique part about it, is that if we do our part, and that's what I want to share with people, that just do your part. You don't have to. You don't have to do my part. You don't have to do somebody else's part. Do your part. I tell people all the time: if you have some skin in the game, you more apt to uh, be a part of it. A lot of times, things are not happening the way that we so choose, is because we don't have no skin in the game. We don't, that when you no longer feel, let me just say this before G comes on. I pray that he'll be on shortly. But if you don't have any skin in the game, it's so easy for you not to show up. Did you hear what I see? Here's the thing, and I'll use this analogy. Hopefully, you'll pick it up. But when we used to play pickup basketball games, uh, the best player was going to always get picked first, and generally the best players were the ones that did the picking, and then they would choose and pick. Now, sometimes a person got picked, and it wasn't that they was the best player, but because they had a relationship. Woo! Slid that one in there, because they had a relationship with the picker, or who was picking, who was doing the choosing. Sometimes they got picked just off of that reason. And guess what? Because it was a team effort, they were able to play the game. And that's all I'm saying today, that we've got to get to a place where we understand that I'm part of the team, and the team needs me, not sometime, but all the time. Now, does that mean that I'm always going to be 100? No, it simply doesn't mean that. But you can always strive to give 100. Woo! Lord, I don't know why I'm going this way this morning, but I'm feeling good all about myself. It's not always that you're gonna be the top dog, but you should always strive to be that. Did you hear what I just said? Regardless of what you're doing in life, you know what I'm saying? I remember T.D. Jakes talking about his father, and how his father was a janitor. And he said his father took pride in what he was doing. He said he could take that mop, and when he was mopping the floor, say, looked like a painter. And he was giving the demonstration. And that's like with anything that we do, we should strive to do our best. Listen, we want to continue to pray for this country by all means, because I tell you, we're in a mixed up country right now, and I'm praying for those individuals that are working in the government, whether it's federal or your city or whatever. I'm praying for you all that God will intervene and keep you covered. But guess what? It goes back to what I was talking about earlier about having some skin in the game. God bless you, Pastor Fred. It's about having some skin in the game because, like anything, if you haven't participated, it's hard to ask for help. I don't know who that's for, but it's got, if it's flowed out, it had to be for somebody. If you are not a participant, it's hard to ask for help. Now, some folks don't have no problem asking for whether they help or not. But I used to remember this. When we used to move, I stopped asking people to help me move, mainly because you get so many excuses. But guess what? Because I didn't ask you, I didn't have to worry about you asking me. Did you hear what I just said? See, sometimes people won't bother you because you don't bother them. But then in the other hands, if you are one that are consistently helping and you're putting that helping hand out and you're always someone that can be depended upon, then guess what? Then you can't expect the same. And even though it doesn't always come, you can't expect it. And so, we just want to keep that in mind. And even though I would say in the field that I'm in, my job is not being affected. Um, and so, but it does not stop me from praying for those individuals that do. Because here's the irony of it. And I've been looking at the news, and sometimes I hear, depending on what side of the aisle you would be on per se, I hear the side that's doing the chopping. Oh, they just think it, fraud, waste. Yeah, we just getting rid of all these people that we don't need, and this, that, and the other. They've been getting over and beating the government for all these years. Okay, that might be the case. They was hired by somebody, which means it was a position open. When they just didn't walk in on the job. And so therefore, if that's the case, then what changed in the system that now I'm no longer needed, but you are? Check that out. You don't need me, but we need you. And that's how it was even when I started with the insurance business. I took a offense that every time I heard them talking about it, it was what we didn't need, but yet they had it. Hmm. Think about that. How is it that you need it, but I don't? Hello, somebody. And so I'm definitely am praying for those individuals because here's the thing that we have to understand. It's a trickle down effect. That means if one of your loved ones, your friends, your family, your church member, if they no longer are employed, then guess what? We got to help them. And not that we don't want to, follow me all the way through this. Not that we don't want to, but guess what? I said if I'd have prayed from the very beginning that they don't lose their job, that they don't get dismissed, then we wouldn't have to worry about that situation. But to God be the glory because He's opening up doors for us right now. We're doing some things the Lord has blessed, where even with Phenomenal Outreach Ministries, we are doing the getting our food bank together. We just reached out to our source on yesterday, and we will be getting with them on this week, where we're going to be able to help some families that need help. Because guess what? I believe in this, that when God opens a door for you, you're not the only one that's supposed to walk through it. Did you hear what I just said? When He opens a door for you, then that also means you have to turn. One of the things Bishop said this morning on the morning prayer, he says, that you have to be presented. In other words, people have to introduce you. You have to be introduced. And so sometimes God puts people in your life. I know I'm talking good this morning. I'm feeling good about this morning. Listen, sometimes God puts people in your life, not so much for you to be Lord over them, but for you to be able to assist them. Guess what? Why? Because the heart that they have, they're going to be able to assist somebody. Did you hear what I just said? See, uh, 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 when the Lord blessed me to connect with certain people, and those that know me, hang with me, been around me long enough to know, I'm probably the most free willing person that you will ever come across. Because if I got it, you got it. Did you hear what I just said? If I got 50 cent, I ain't gonna say you got 25 of it, but you might, depending on your relationship with me. You hear what I'm saying? You might get the whole 50 cent. Why? Because I know that the connection that I have, I'm going to get some more. I'm not afraid. I am not selfish. And that's the reason the Lord has blessed me in the manner that he has. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just trying to encourage somebody that, listen, we got to be in this thing together. You hear what I'm saying? If you eating, make sure your next door neighbor. And when I say your next door neighbor, I'm not really physically talking about the next door person that lived beside you, even though that should be the case. It used to be a time we knew our neighbors and everything, but life has changed now where some of us don't even know who our next door neighbor is. When we come outside, we don't even look their way. We jump right in our vehicle, and some of us come right out of the garage and we take off. But that's a story for another day. But all I'm saying is we're in a season now where we're going to need each other. And all I want to do is encourage somebody that, listen, as doors open for you, remember that door opened for you because of somebody else. It wasn't because of you that the door opened, but somebody else presented you. And guess what? When you walk through the door, you should be willing to make sure that the person behind you gets the same opportunity. You don't have to worry about it. See, here's the saying. We said it, and they got the song out. What God has for me, it is for me. Yeah, that's true. That part is true. But then he also has opened up the opportunity for you to be a blessing and to be able to help somebody else. And I guarantee you, if you carry that attitude with you, if you carry that attitude with you, doors will begin to open for you because he looks at your heart. A lot of times what comes out of our mouth don't match our heart. Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes we talk a mean game. Man, if you would have called me, I would have been there. No, the reason I didn't call you because the times that I did, you never showed up. Hello, somebody. But now it's time for us to realize that we're going to need each other if we plan on getting through this next season, because a lot of things that's happening, and some of you all that don't look, that's why part of my platform I do talk about what's going on in the world, because a lot of us are not following. We so saintly, we so deep with the Lord that I can't look at the news because every time I look at it, it's just, oh, everything on there's just horrible. Well, that might be true if you look at it. People that know me, I shared this with somebody. I say, listen, I always look at the glass as half full. You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody else might look at it as half empty, but it's always half full for me. And that's my attitude just about how I'm walking through this season now, that I know that I have a purpose and an assignment. So I don't wake up trying to figure out what I'm not going to do. I wake up saying, Lord, what do I need to do? And that's why the doors that the Lord is blessing and opening up for me, I'm trying to share it. And the reason I'm trying to share it, because here's the thing. You could either store stuff so long I was sharing with G the other day, and I guess he's tied up, so he's not gonna be able to get on this morning. But to God be the glory. But I was sharing with him the other day. I said, man, I said we got to go in that garage and clean that garage out. I said I've got boxes. I know I do. I've got boxes that I put in when we first moved in, and this is going on year number 4. That when we first moved in, that I stuck under this shelf and stuck under that shelf, and it was things that I've carried from from our move to here. And I said I haven't went in it. I say now the key to it. This is what I told him. I say the key to it is when you open the box, don't start talking about this what you've been looking for. Ha! Did you hear what I just said? Don't be talking about, oh, this what I've been looking for all the time. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Chances are you probably bought a replacement already for it. So guess what? When we get ready to go in that garage and I get ready to clean that garage out, as mother used to call it, spring cleaning, and I clean that garage out, I'm going to glance in there, but most of it, I guarantee you, is going to go in the trash. Why? Because I've already proven that I don't need it. And so, what am I saying to somebody? I'm saying some of the stuff that we've been carrying, we've got to get rid of. You got to throw it away. Go ahead, get rid of it, and move forward because all it's doing is holding you back. Now, here's the other side of it. If for some reason it is something in there that you can use or should be using, put it in your eyesight. So guess what? It won't get hid again. Did you hear what I just said? A lot of times we end up wasted. That's where your waste comes from. That you end up because you packed it, called yourself packing and putting it up, and and you even in some cases mark the box and put on the box and all that, and you still can't find it. One of the things I tell people, those that knew Lady Cheryl, Aunt Rose is on, and I think Turn is on here. They knew that she was a decorator. Oh, that girl could decorate. She could do a multitude of things, but she loved decorating. She loved, when I say she loved it, listen, you might leave out that morning, your room looked one way, and you come back that evening, you fall on the floor because the seat that you thought was there is no longer there. She done moved it and rearranged that room. She got so much stuff out in that garage, and I be sharing with him. I say, listen, I don't know where none of it is. She used to say, go on the third shelf behind such and such and get that box, and knew where everything was. But guess what? Of course, she's no longer here. And so I've shared with the girls. I say, come on, get some of that stuff. Because had nice stuff. Did you hear what I just said? She had nice stuff. Come get it so you can do the same thing or decorate. See, here we go. Oh, I know I'm helping today. I might be bouncing around, but I think I'm still on the same street about stuff. But some things you won't have to buy. Did you hear what I just said? We're in a season right now that because of how this economy is going and we need each other and all that, there can be somebody that come in your life that can give you just what you needed. Did you hear what I just said? Hear you thinking about you need to go out and buy it, and they got it sitting on the shelf. One of the stories that Bishop always talks about is that Fred Sanford. Fred Sanford took junk, and yet, if you followed the Fred Stanford show, he had the junk in his house. He had junk out there. But guess what? His lights, you never saw his lights turned off. You never seen him begging from nobody. And every once in a while, you would see him. He'd pull out a wad of money and he'd be counting it. You follow what I'm saying? So that means he was making money. And then as the years went on, he had a spinoff where he ended up having a place where others could come live. What did that mean? He took others people's junk, per se, and made money off of it. So I'm not saying that you got junk. What I'm saying is that sometimes you have something that you no longer need or use. And guess what? Somebody else might can. So when I go out in that garage come the spring, when I go out in that garage come the spring, yes, I'm gonna go through the boxes, and if I see something that maybe somebody else can use, because I don't use it no more. That's it. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna put it back in the box talking about now that I know where it is, I can come back and get it because it's obvious. If I have not, let's just keep it real. If I have not used it, God bless you, Pastor Hicks. God bless you. Thank you for joining. If I haven't used it in 4 years, let's just keep it real. What's the likelihood of me needing it now? But guess what? It could be something that you could use. And on top of that, not only use, save some money. And here's the thing. And I ain't talking about selling you nothing. Why? Because if I classified it as me not needing it anymore, or in some cases put the title junk on it, why then would I try to benefit if I'm talking about helping? And if each one of us look at it from that aspect, guess what? As you giving, somebody else will be giving to you. Hello, somebody. Listen, I want you all to just rethink what I've been saying today, and think about it from this standpoint: that even if God has blessed you, he blessed you to be a blessing to somebody else. Did you hear what I just said? And that's where I am excited about in this season right now, how God is opening up doors for me right now to be able to bless some other ministries. Yes, Phenomenal Outreach Ministries is our outreach ministry, and we're doing things over in Kenya. Next month, I will be sending out letters to some sponsors, to some individuals. We've got 80 young people over there that we want to sponsor on a monthly basis to make sure that they have food, make sure that their tuition in their school is paid, make sure that they have clothes. And guess what? We can do that, and I'm gonna have the flyer. I'm gonna have Brooks, Pastor Brooks, put me the flyer and the information together so we can start pushing it in the month of March. But we can do that for as low as $25. Now, here's the thing. We see those commercials come on TV and everything. And I used to, before I got into this phase of my life, I used to always just be looking at it and say, wow, this, that, and the other, $10. But until you've had the opportunity to travel outside the country and understand what the American dollar value is abroad, you won't even understand what I'm talking about. But here's the key. You actually know somebody now. So this ain't a commercial that I'm saying. This is live, like like the commercial that they had live in Memorex. Which was they were playing the tape and they didn't know whether it was a live person or it was the tape. They saying that's how good the quality is. Well, this is what I'm saying. Now you know somebody that's actually physically dealing with that type of outreach. And so starting next month, I'm going to be looking for some of you all to partner with me. You all know I don't do a bunch of begging. I just do presentations because I believe like this. If I present it to you, it's up to you to choose whether you want to be a part of it. And here's the thing. It ain't going to stop because you don't do it. Hello, somebody. I just believe this, that the only way that your harvest can increase is you got to plant a seed. Did I say something? See, listen, you could go right now, and I know it's almost time for me to go, but you can go right now to Home Depot or Lowe's and go in the garden section. Follow me when I say this, and go in the garden section. And you can see plants in there. You can see packets with different types of fruits, different type of vegetables, different type of plants that's in a package. And guess what? They will never, whoo, my God, they will never be anything. They will never come to what they're supposed to do until they're planted in the ground. Did I just say something to somebody this morning? So listen, your seed can increase your harvest. And guess what? When you do that, then other things are open up for you. We got to get to the barter system. We got to understand that we need each other. Woo! I guess God didn't want G on here this morning because he wanted me to lay some foundation of where we get ready to go over the next 6 to 9 months. Did you hear what I just said? Phenomenal Outreach is getting ready to outreach. We've been doing some outreach, but we get ready to go to another whole level. And I'm inviting you to be a part of it. So I will be getting those flyers and those letters. Some of you all will be getting personal emails from me, personal texts, and personal phone calls from me. Guess what? Why? Because when you need, see this going back to what I said at the beginning. When you help somebody, then you can request for somebody to help you. Now, if you haven't been a helper, it's hard for you. I don't care who you are. It's hard for you to ask for help. Matter of fact, most of the time you're too ashamed to ask for help because you know you haven't been a helper. But when you've been a helper, when you've been a giver, when you've done your part, then it's not even hard. The reason it's not hard for me to ask for money, because anybody that knows me know that if you need it and I got it, we in this thing together. We in this thing together. Because guess what? I'm just of the mindset that if the Lord laid you on your mind for you to call me, that meant I should be able to help you. You hear what I'm saying? And sometimes, here we go. Now, I ain't telling you all of y'all this, so don't get it twisted. Sometimes we know you can't pay us back. Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes we know you can't pay us back. This is what I teach my children as I get ready to close this meeting. I tell them, I say, it all depends on how you ask. If you ask for a loan, then you pay me back. If you just say, I need, then I'm really not expecting it back. And so I'm always careful how they ask because I want to hear how they ask. Because if they say, like I say, loan, then I'm expecting it back. But if they say they need, then I say, okay, and I don't mind doing it, but I already know I'm not getting it back. But here's the key that I want to tell everybody, that when you do get from somebody and you get an abundance, it does not hurt to give it back. And the reason being, because you never know if you're going to have to come back. Listen, God bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning. I pray that the little nuggets that I was throwing out there this morning, that you caught them, put them in your bag. You might not need it today, but I guarantee you somewhere down the road, you'll be able to dig back in that bag and remember what I said. Listen, on this coming Friday, I'm telling you, this coming Friday, we're going to have none other than Elder Marcus McCall, all the way from Valdosta, Georgia, that's going to break the word to us and give us some inspiration to go into the weekend. You all continue to pray for us as I do the same for you. Remember my family over in Kenya. And also, like I say, get that in your mind that you want to be part of this partnership. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. $25 will bless a child. I got 80 of them over there that we got to do something with. Hello, somebody. I'm going to do my part. I've been doing my part. Now I want you all to be able to join because guess what? I've been reaping the benefits. Did you hear what I just said? And I'm ready to share so that you also can get a harvest. Listen, God bless you all. Keep a smile on your face. The weather is shifted. It looks like it's nice here in Snellville, Georgia today. So I'm going to get out probably around lunchtime after I do a little work this morning. I'm going to get out. But I want you all to keep us in prayer. And we're going to do the same for you. I'm looking to see you all back on this coming Friday. Share this, tell somebody. You know I'll be putting the flyer out. And you all keep each other lifted up. Did you hear what I just said? Keep each other lifted up because we in this thing together. If we keep that attitude, then guess what? You won't even feel bad when you have to call somebody and say, can you? Did you hear what I just said? You won't feel bad when you come. Can you do this or can you do that? You won't feel bad. Why? Because you know you're doing the same thing. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. And I will see you on this coming Friday. God bless.